You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And then remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or a plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Bifocals at the Monitor Liberation Day. How do you celebrate that? I don't understand how you celebrate bifocals at the Monitor Liberation. Does that mean you don't look at your monitor? You get rid of the bifocals? I get rid of my glasses. I can't see a squat. I don't understand that. But you know something? Hey, at least an apple a day. Red apples. Okay. Hot cider. Isn't it time for hot apple cider? I don't know if you use red apples or green apples for that. What do I know? Maybe you just go and buy that old spice. What is it? The spice something mix. Well, let's just go to what I really like and what I care about, because I have beaten anorexia. Today is National Pie Day. Pumpkin pie okay, we got pumpkin pie there. I'm not, are you a big pumpkin pie eater, Josh? Okay, Josh is the pumpkin pie guy. Give me chocolate. Give me a lemon meringue or a lemon cream. There's a peanut butter and chocolate one that I like a lot. I personally, Polly's Pies, if you want to know the truth of where I'm going for pie. So I'll just throw that out there to you. Let's take a look at what the markets are doing today. Markets are down. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 350 points. S&P 500 is down 18. NASDAQ down 35. Oil is up another $1.26 a barrel. But yesterday was the day. So we got an early gift from Jerome Powell yesterday. And if you remember, I told you that we were going to be getting some volatile markets this week because we have so much data coming out that we knew the markets would be very, very volatile. We knew that we were going to see ups and downs. Jerome Powell, though, yesterday, his commentary was pretty favorable to the markets. The bond market, the mortgage-backed securities had a really good day yesterday. We're seeing a little bit of follow through on that today. The 10-year Treasury is down 4 basis points, and the mortgage-backed securities are up 11 basis points. So getting some decent follow through right there. We're watching all of it for you. We watch this like a hawk every day for you and for our private clients. And every day, hopefully I've got it on my screen. No, it did not pop up. Oh, there it is. Every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. 30-year conforming loans yesterday locked at 6.54, down a bit. 30-year jumbos locked at 6.419, down a bit. 30-year FHA locked at 6.479, down a bit. USDA for those rural areas and generally no down payment locked at 6.432, down a bit. And the best loan on the market, that one locked at 6.27 yesterday. So that's That's good stuff right there. And I'm probably doing all this stuff in the wrong sections of the broadcast and probably driving Josh nuts, but we'll do some of it over again in a little bit. Got way too much stuff going on for one day, but we did get this information from Jerome Powell. And basically his commentary was he's starting to see that the effects, what they've been doing all year long with these interest rate hikes is starting to have an effect.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Hard to believe it's taken him this long to figure that out, but we're going to still get the interest rate hikes. Probably the 14th of December, I think we'll get another one. It's going to probably, I anticipate it'll be less than what the other ones have been. But just throw that out there for you, give you a little bit of headline on those markets. Got a lot of data came out this morning as well. The market did so well yesterday that it's not abnormal for it to give some back or give a little bit back. So we're going to watch that. But as we come toward the end of the year, you do see volatility. You do see some of these issues. Why do we see more volatility at the end of the year? Well, it's pretty simple. There's less people working. People are starting they're taking off early. They're going on vacations. They're going to see family. When there's less volume, every little thing can be exacerbated in the markets. So we just have an idea of where these things are going. We're watching it all for you. As one of our private clients, our team is always on this. We talk a lot about strategies. And why do we talk about strategies? Because I've told you many times, the first family I helped with a loan was in 1983. And I will share with you, because most people only look at rate. And rate is important, but it's not the most important thing. What's most important is strategy. Why would I say that? Well, because the rates can change, right? I've helped people with loans where we did the loan at about, and again, I just went over the OBMI numbers, right? So if you look at yesterday and say, okay, OBMI, they locked at 6.54 on a 30-year conforming rate loan. Well, I did help a family, say it was yesterday, it wasn't, but this was some years ago. And it was a very, very astute borrower, and say the rates were 6.54. Well, we did the loan at 7.25. And you may say, Ron, why would you do a loan at 7.25 when the market rate is 6.54? Because that was the strategy. I knew that she was only going to be keeping the loan for a year. Now, increasing the interest rate on a short period of time makes it irrelevant, right? Because I was able to give her, I think, $4,000 to cover closing costs and fees. Now, the fees and closing costs weren't $4,000, but it also took care of property taxes, everything else. I was able to give that back. What did that extra 1.5 in interest do? Well, strategically in that scenario, I think it cost about $40 a month extra in the payment. So for a year, knowing that that was the time horizon we were dealing with, that's about $500 cost to save $4,000 or $5,000. Do you see what it means to save on strategy? Strategy beats rate always. We're going to talk more about that. If you want a strategy call with us, give us a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, got a lot to chat with you about today. We're going to do quite a few. Normally, I don't do it this way, but we've got like 3 or 4 different articles that have come across my desk that would normally be in the Your Credit Matters segment. And just because I can, I might give them all to you today. I might share all of those with you today. We'll see where we go. What you want to know if you're pursuing your dream of home ownership, we'll talk about that. 10 simple ways to reduce your monthly expenses, 5 budgeting apps that can help you. And no, don't go getting smart on me. There is no partridge in a pear tree on this show. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. We'll be back in less than a minute.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yeah, we'll try and get it right this time. I will try and get it right this time. Joshua's following along with me and getting the captions correct. But you can only train a host so much before you got to just throw in the towel. You got to love it. Okay, let's see. The S&P 500 is now down 18.68. The 10-year Treasury down 5 basis points, 3.56. It was all the way up to 4.3. And we had an idea that this was going to happen, so we're watching it. The mortgage-backed securities are up 13 basis points. Remember, whatever direction the bond goes, the interest or the yield goes the other way. So bond is up to 13 basis points. That means interest rates are down just a little bit. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, and timely and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. Yesterday's locked numbers doesn't tell us anything about APR, doesn't tell us anything about points that were paid to get these rates, just the actual locked rate, according to OBMMI. 30-year conforming, 6.54, down a little bit. 30-year jumbo, 6.419, down a little bit. 30-year FHA, 6.479, down a little bit. 30-year USDA, generally this one's a no down payment loan, 6.432 was the 30-year. 5.893 is the 15-year conforming. Stay away from that loan. I know I get some people that really want it and will help them with it. But just remember, there's strategic ways that you can make the 30-year loan look like a 15 and cut down on your effective percentage rate, EPR, and not have the mandatory higher rate, which can be problematic if your family gets into any kind of a tight situation, a tight jam. Best loan on the market, though, yesterday locked at 6.27. That's the 30-year VA loan. Obviously, you have to earn that one. You can't just apply for it. But let's take a look at why all these things happened. It's it's equally as important, maybe not more important, but equally as important to understand why these things are happening. That way you can follow it and see what makes sense for you and your family. Powell said yesterday, again, he had that speech yesterday at 10:30 California time. Powell said that smaller interest rate increases could start as soon as December 14th meeting. This kind of tells us, it kind of telegraphs what we've been telling you, that we see a 50 basis point hike at the next meeting, as we've been hearing from so many other Fed members. He tried to continue to talk tough, saying that there was more work to be done and the Fed funds rate would end up higher than previously stated. But this was a big change in his tone. It's amazing when you're a Federal Reserve chairman or chairwoman, even the tone of the way you say things, they parse every single word, but then they also look at what's the tone. So trying to talk tough, but would also watch what he does. While some out there were saying there was nothing new in this talk, he's pivoted and was clearly less hawkish, means he's not nearly as harsh. He also said that the cumulative impact of hiking rates from 0 to 4% has not been fully realized because of the lag. Have you heard that anywhere before?
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Powell may have had an early look at the inflation data that came out this morning, and it might have influenced his tone. We hope he's starting to see the light. As a result, bonds rallied sharply. And the inflation number that we're talking about, that's the personal consumption expenditures, the Fed's favorite measure of inflation. Personal consumption expenditures, PCE, showed that headline inflation rose 0.3% in October, which was in line with estimates. The year-over-year reading declined from 6.3 to 6% and is down from the peak of 7% in June. The core rate, which strips out food and energy prices, rose by 0.2%, which is below estimates of 0.3%. Core PCE fell from 5.2 to 5% on a year-over-year basis, which was in line with expectations. This is down from the peak in February of 5.4. Inflation heading in the right direction will continue to do so. We expect interest rates to improve one inflation report at a time. The bond market rallied almost 80 basis points yesterday. Bonds up, interest down. We got the bond market reaction we wanted, but it came yesterday after Powell's talk and an anticipation of a cooler inflation reading today. Bonds are only slightly higher this morning, but we got the move we wanted. Jobless claims. This is a biggie. Initial jobless claims, which measures individuals filing for unemployment benefits for the very first time, decreased 16,000 to 225,000. It's important to note that this is still a new crop of people filing for unemployment benefits from last week. Additionally, last week was Thanksgiving, and if we're not for the holiday, initial claims would have likely been higher. Do you think anybody was filing for unemployment on Thursday and Friday? Probably not. And once they are let go, they're having a hard time finding a new job. This is evidenced by continuing claims of those continue to receive benefits after their initial claims rose 57,000 to 1.61 million. This is a good figure as it measures 2 weeks ago. They've now risen by more than 260,000 over the last 8 weeks and are at the highest level in 9 months. Challenger Cut Report. This is a company that goes in and measures all job cuts. They showed that there were 77,000 job cuts in November, with the majority in the tech sector. There were 53,000 job cuts in tech last month alone, for a total of 81,000 this year, the highest amount of cuts in a month and cumulative for over 20 years. Now, here's another big piece of information that goes into the delayed data that we share on inflation. The Apartment List National Rent Report. Apartment List reported that rents fell 1% in November, the third straight monthly decline. The decline is consistent with what we've seen seasonally in the past, but year over year, rents have moderated up 4.7%. This is well off the 18% pace we saw at the peak. Additionally, the vacancy rate has increased from 4.7 at its low to 5.7, still below the historical norm, but showing a softening in the rental market. Shelter costs are the biggest component of the inflation reports we receive, but they have still been adding upward pressure because the lag. Even though in the real market, shelter costs are coming down, we think the starts to get realized in January or February, and will start to really help inflation come down more significantly. Job report strategy, technical analysis. So we're going to get the big jobs report tomorrow. The market's expecting 200,000 jobs created for an unemployment rate to remain at 3.7. I think it's going to be weaker and that the unemployment rate's going to move up to 3.8%, especially after what we saw in the ADP report yesterday. So we're watching every bit of that. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. And the strategy comes from us, the individuals. You got to give us a call, though, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Let's see what we've got on some of these reports here that I can share with you, because I know Josh is going to tell me I've only got a little bit of time left in this segment. Talking to kids about money ideas to teach money to kids at any age. Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? So let's see what we're going to do. Think about your own financial knowledge. How did your parents talk about money with you? What financial lessons did you learn the hard way? You may feel that talking to kids about money is uncomfortable. Perhaps you feel unqualified or don't want to teach them the wrong ideas, but you are not alone. Nearly half of all parents are somewhat or very reluctant to talk about money with their kids. But imagine the kind of people you want your children to be. How do they handle their money? Do they have the same habits as you? How will they make major life decisions? How your child answers these questions in the future will depend on a lot of factors. One of the most important ways you can help your child make the right decisions is to help them to be comfortable and competent when talking about money. So here's a list of the essential conversations to have with your kids, ideas and topics to teach your kids about money at any age. And I know we got some of these things in school, but they don't teach this stuff anymore. First, a financial pep talk for parents. One of the biggest reasons why financial literacy is such a challenge in the U.S. is because it's not always normal to talk about, let alone talk about with your kids. Here are some of the common reasons why you might be nervous to talk money with your kids, but why you should anyway. Number one, people think it's rude to talk money. You may have been taught that it's rude to talk about money, and perhaps you still hold that notion. In his book, The Opposite of Spoiled, How to Talk to Kids About Money, personal finance writer Ron Lieber writes that the silence around money can come from several emotions, including modesty, shame, envy, and fear. While these emotions about money are very real for a lot of people, that doesn't have to be the case for your kids if you discuss it with care. Number two, I can't talk to my kids about money. I barely know what I'm doing. More than 40% of parents have never had any formal financial education. Wherever you are in your personal financial journey, you still have an opportunity to set your kids on the right path. Number three, I don't want my kids to see how much we're struggling. This is a tough one. Letting your kids in on the realities of your finances can feel like taking off the superhero costume. Personal finance writer Beth Koblener says that it's natural that parents may feel nervous talking to kids about their money. However, kids just want to be reassured that everything's going to be okay. They don't need all the details around your circumstances. Instead, help them understand why you're having these tough conversations about money and the reasons behind your good decisions. Number four, it's too late to get started. Dear parent, who may be feeling like the worst parent ever because you haven't talked to your kids about the inner workings of your 401k, do not fret. While financial experts agree that starting children off early leads to better financial literacy later, arming your kids with the knowledge to make sound financial decisions can come at any age. And we're going to continue this conversation when I get back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. What you want to know if you're pursuing your dream of home ownership, and 10 simple ways to reduce your monthly expenses, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in about a minute.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily Home and Finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule an appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Curveball to the producers. So I'm going to finish up this Your Credit Matters, and then we'll do our real-time real estate after that. So we've got the Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. I want to finish this report that we started in the last segment. The essentials of talking to kids about money, no matter what the age, maturity level, or income bracket, there are a few key elements that financial experts agree are essential to fostering responsible financial behavior in your kids. Talk openly about money if it isn't already. Make money an open dialogue in your home. Money needs to be part of the day in, day out conversation. As money topics come up and your kids are around, talk about them as openly as you feel comfortable, says money coach Lynn Summerman. When you're having conversations with your spouse or others in your family, do not be afraid to include your child in on those discussions. Examples of opportunities to talk openly with your kids about money include inviting them in your weekly or monthly budget discussions, talking about your bills and walking them through your statements, breaking down your inner dialogue about financial decisions you're making and share it with them. Funny story on that is I used to always just sit on all these conversations with my parents. My sister was there too. I liked the data. I wanted to know the data. I absorbed the data. And sitting in the same room, my sister had no interest. And she'll be the first to tell you that to this day, that even though we were in the same household, same parents, same everything, people have different interests. So your kids may or may not pick it up, but the exposure may help. Show how money is earned. If you're comfortable showing your child how you earn money, many parents encourage their kids to get part-time jobs to teach them the value of a dollar. But parents can also get creative by inviting them to shadow what you do at work if possible, explaining the details of your paycheck, participating in your child's career day activities, showing them your investment and retirement plans, and explaining the basics of how you earn that money. Build savings habits. One of the most important financial habits that kids can start early is saving. Help your child make connections between your savings and the life you want to live. Why did you choose the less expensive car? Why don't you go on vacation each month? Why does some money in your paycheck go to an account you won't access until you're 60? Here's some ways to talk about saving money with your kids. Even if you're not teaching your child how to create meticulously planned financial goals, show an interest in the things your kid wants and encourage them to save up for. Discuss with your child your plans to use your savings on a future down payment for a major purchase. Show them a savings account statement and talk them through how much interest you're earning on that money. When emergencies happen, be open with how you financially deal with the impacts after things have calmed down. If you choose to give out allowances, have a discussion with your child about what they could save that money for. When I first got my first job, I had no choice. My dad made me clean toilets in his warehouse, and I did that for 25 cents an hour. And no, we didn't pay taxes on it. It was back in the 60s. But I thought it was taxes because I only got half the money. The other half had to go into a savings account that my dad signed on. So learning right from day one, 25 cents an hour wasn't a lot of money. Back then it was more than it is today. But, then half the money had to go into the savings account that I couldn't even access. Being charitable if and when you can, something to always keep in the back of your head is to instill your values about giving with your children. Ideas to engage your child on the ways you give back include discuss any charitable donations you make and why. Ask your kid what causes they're interested in and encourage them to get involved in those causes. Take an active approach to your child's participation in any school or extracurricular fundraisers. Consider volunteering specifically at local shelters and food banks to help your child understand how different financial circumstances can impact people in the community. Prepare for the next phase of their life. Every major life decision is going to encounter in their young adult life will have a financial impact. When your child starts to make major life choices, you can stay connected. Make sure to talk money with your kid when they are purchasing their first car, deciding on their post-high school plans, applying for any loans, switching jobs, negotiating a salary, moving in with a partner, or getting married. From the tooth fairy to your empty nest, talking to kids about finances, always a good idea. Now we've addressed some of the common worries in discussing financial topics with kids. It's time to show you how you can actually broach some of these topics. Here are ideas for activities, lessons, and conversation topics to start having with your kids at different ages. While not every topic will be relevant to every child, at the age it's categorized in, the sentiment won't change. Saving, basic math, investing, personal finance, essentials, and making responsible choices are important at every age. Financial topics and activities for kids age. Well, I'm going to do that when we come back. So the financial topics and activities for kids age. I got to remember where we are. Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report, and it is wrong. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. What you want to know if you're pursuing your dream of home ownership. That's our topic. If you're a young adult, you may be thinking about your goals and priorities for the months and years ahead. And if home ownership ranks high on your goal sheet, you're in good company. Many of your peers are also pursuing their dream of owning a home. The 2022 Millennial and Gen Z Borrower Sentiment Report from Maxwell says, quote, many young adults have demonstrated their resolve to embark on the journey toward homeownership soon. More than half of the millennials and Gen Zs plan to apply for a mortgage sometime within the next year. Let's take a look at why homeownership makes the top of so many young buyers' to-do list and what you need to consider to achieve your goals if you're one of them. Top motivators to buy a home? Before you start the home buying process, it's helpful to know why homeownership is so important to you. The survey mentioned above or previously sheds light on some of the top reasons why younger generations are looking to buy a home. It finds 95% believe the cost of renting is too high. 35% think owning a home is an important wealth building tool. 16% seek the sense of security owning a home provides. 37% plan to use it as an investment property. No matter which of these resonates the most with you, know there are many financial and non-financial reasons why you may want to buy a home. While your top motivator may be different than that of your friends, they're all equally valid and worthwhile. Key obstacles and how to overcome them. Whether your homeownership goals come from the heart or are driven by financial aspirations or both, it can still be hard to know where to start when you're looking to buy a home. From understanding the home buying process to getting pre-approved and exploring down payment options, it's a lot to wrap your head around. The same Maxwell survey also reveals key challenges for potential buyers. Thankfully, the knowledge and guidance of a trusted real estate professional can help you overcome both. Here's a look at two of the hurdles potential home buyers say they face. Number one, the mortgage process can be intimidating. In the Maxwell study, 33.37% said one of their obstacles was that the mortgage process is confusing or difficult to understand. Give us a call, 800-306-1990. We'll see if we can make that a little more comfortable for you. An article by OwnUp helps explain why the mortgage process is so challenging for buyers. Quote, there is a general lack of knowledge about home financing. Mortgage is a complicated topic with no one-size-fits-all answer. It's difficult to understand the space, let alone determine what the right course of action is based on your unique financial picture, unquote. While you may be tempted to do a quick search online to find instant answers to your questions, it may not get you the information you need to understand the full picture, especially when it comes to financial advice. You want to lean on a true expert. Have trusted professionals on your side can help you to learn what it takes to achieve your dream of home ownership. Not to mention, an expert can give you advice specific to your situation, not generic advice like you'll find online. Number two, it's hard to know how much you need to save. In the Maxwell study, 45.75% of people believe they don't have enough saved to cover their down payment or closing cost expenses. What you may not realize is that today there's a growing number of down payment assistance programs. Last I looked, 352 of them in California. They're available nationwide to help relieve this pressure. A report from Down Payment Resource says, quote, our Q3 2022 HPI report revealed a 1.6% uptick in the number of home buyer assistance programs available to help people finance homes, raising the number of programs to 2,309, a net increase of 36 over the previous quarter. Additionally, as the housing market cools, buyers are regaining some negotiation power, and more sellers are willing to work with buyers to help with closing costs. How about help pay down the interest so you have a lower payment? Call us. We'll talk to you about the way how to do that. Price, again, not as important as the interest rate. I'll prove it to you. Understanding what's out there and the options available may help you achieve your dream of home ownership faster than you thought possible. If you're thinking about being a homeowner, give us a call. If you have any friends, family, or coworkers thinking about being a homeowner, give us a call. We will chat with you about it. That is the real-time real estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. When we come back, we're going to finish up our story on talking to kids about money, and we're going to give you 10 simple ways to reduce your monthly expenses. All that and more. Reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. We'll be back in less than a minute.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So we've been chatting this morning about talking to your kids about money, how to teach them about money, some of the ideas about money. And, there's some things you're going to say, okay, Ron, I don't like that. That's going too far. I don't want to put that burden on my kids. I don't know, maybe my kids will talk about things that they shouldn't be talking about. I get it. But I want to bring up the subject to you. That way it's something for you to think about, something for you to consider. Not everybody has the same thoughts and ideas about child rearing. Financial topics and activities for kids aged 3 to 7. Most financial experts agree that starting financial literacy early is a good idea. And make your kid a money genius, even if you're not. Personal finance writer Beth Kobliner writes that even at young ages, children can understand the basics behind money concepts. Here are some ideas to help build a foundation of financial literacy in your little ones. All about coins. Spend some time with your kid counting coins. Help them understand what different coins and dollar amounts mean, what the value of each is, and use coins as a tool for basic math. Feed the piggy bank. Make it a game to find loose change and start offering an allowance early. Having a bank on the shelf that adds up slowly can show how saving their money can add up even when it's not earning interest. Adopt a plant and take care of it. Consider putting your child in charge of caring for a section of the garden or house plant. If you're particularly adventurous, consider assisting your child in caring for a low-maintenance pet like a lizard or a turtle. Tending to something every day can help them understand what happens when you care for something over time, like saving and investment habits. Needs and wants. Make saying no a part of something bigger. When your child is upset, you denied them something they want. Make it a topic of conversation about the differences between a need and a want. If you're not telling your kid no because you want to see them you don't want to see them upset, you're telling your kid no because it's simply a want, not a need. Financial activities for kids ages 7 to 11. By 7, the children have already formed critical money habits. Additionally, children at this age are already making minor money decisions, so it's the perfect time to introduce ways to help them build responsible habits. Gamify the grocery store. Give your child a small budget and challenge them to buy a list of essentials at the supermarket. Ask them to figure out how to purchase everything on your list each week and still make it work. Make art out of their wants. Have your child draw, paint, make a collage, or however they want to express themselves. It illustrates the items they want to have and purchase. Have them start saving specifically for an item in the collage that they can work toward. The lesson here is to plant the seed of delayed gratification, showing them that while it might be tempting to buy something you want on impulse, Getting something you truly want after working for it is even better. Life is a simulation. Play games with your kids. Simulation games like Sims, Roller Coaster Tycoon, Life or Monopoly can challenge them to make tough financial choices based on different circumstances in a low-stakes environment. Financial lessons and activities for kids 11 to 13. Being a preteen is tough, but being a parent of a preteen is tougher. You'll get there, Josh. Each of these lessons or activities double as ideas to talk to your kids about finances and opportunities to help them feel older than they are, become junior investors. Challenge your child to invest in a stock they're interested in. Give your child an amount. Simulate what it would be like to purchase shares, then have them track their investments. Performance day over day, month over month. How their investment is doing, when something impacts the market. Explain to your child how it might impact their investment and explain what their options might be if they want to reassess their portfolio. Take it to the bank. All of that birthday money your kid has been saving. Consider opening a savings account at your financial institution for your child. Many banks offer starter accounts for children that are in your name, so you'll have oversight. Magic doesn't exist, but compound interest does. If you have a savings account, money market account, CD that's earning compound interest, take time to show your child how you're earning that money and why you choose to put it into an account. Credit cards are not cash. Many credit card companies are allowing kids to become authorized users of credit cards at the age of 13. If you haven't yet, now is the time to teach your kids the basics of how credit cards work. Why do people use credit cards versus cash? When should you use credit cards? If you add your child as an authorized user on your own card, reinforce these lessons with the rules you set in place for them. Talking about finances for kids 13 to 16, starting in high school, spending more time on their own and spending less time at home means your kid will start making independent choices. You can help guide them in making smart decisions, especially with their money with these topics. The value of $1. Retail responsibly. Next time you're shopping with your child, have them explain to you what different sales mean, how much sales tax will add to your bill, and how coupons could have helped them save money. What debt does. Your child isn't old enough to have a credit card of his own or apply for a loan, but they will be in a few years. Take some time to show your kids how much money you're spending on any debt you have in your life and why you have it. Make it okay to make small mistakes. Personal financial writer, again, Beth Kobliner, advises that by the time your kids are teenagers, they should have experienced a little buyer's remorse. Make your kid a money genius, even if you're not, is the book. Feeling a little disappointment in something is normal every now and then. So allow your kid to make that impulsive or ill-advised purchase. Then talk them through why you felt that way. Topics for the 16 to 18-year-old. They're probably getting on their bit. They're chomping on the bit for their independence, wanting to move out or move on. Access to their savings. If you've set up the savings account for your kid, consider allowing them to take the reins at this age on a little bit of it. Assist them in building monthly savings habits and discuss the reasons why you would dip into your savings. The ins and outs of a paycheck, it seems self-explanatory. But if your child has a job, discuss the details of their pay stub with them. They'll likely only care about the deposit amount, but make sure they understand how their earnings are calculated, any taxes pulled out, and any deductions. The certainty of taxes, if they earn enough in their part-time job, consider helping them through their first tax filing. Baby's first credit report. The FTC advises that a child can first access their credit report starting at age 16. Discuss each section. Retire at age 16. Okay, so your child won't be retiring at 18, but if you have a part-time job or help them understand their options for savings for retirement, discuss what your retirement plans are and learn together. A lot of great information in the report. If you want the full report, just give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I do want to get to the report that we did share with you or talk to you about that we were gonna have on the broadcast today. Let me pull that report up. 10 simple ways to reduce your monthly expenses. That is the Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it's wrong. What are you doing about it? So let's take a look. 10 simple ways to reduce your monthly expenses. Looking for a few simple tips that'll help you save money on your monthly expenses. You've come to the right place. Reducing your expenses can be a challenge, particularly when you've grown used to a certain lifestyle or standard of living. Rest assured The tips you'll find within this story are easy to implement and won't change your daily life significantly. Before we get into the tips, it's important that you follow the directions in these sections so that you can get involved with it on your goals and creating a budget. These 2 steps will ensure that your mission to reduce your monthly expenses is a successful one. Clarify your financial goals. Before you start identifying ways to cut costs, it's wise to make a list of your financial goals. What are the reasons you're looking to reduce expenses? What do you intend to gain by saving money each month? Maybe you're saving up to put a down payment on a house, building an emergency fund, or socking away money for a rainy day. Whatever the reason is, you're going to want to keep it at the front of your mind when there's meaning behind your savings plan. It'll be much easier for you to commit to a long term. Want to learn more about financial goals and how to set your own? We're going to talk about it. Create a budget. Without a budget, there's no way to determine how much money is going in and out of your bank account every month. Once you create one, it'll be much easier to manage your money, track your spending, and identify opportunities to save. To start your budget, you'll first want to estimate your monthly income. Many people fall into the trap of spending more than they earn, but once you clearly define how much money you make each month, you can avoid this common problem. Next, you'll divide your monthly expenses into wants and needs. Needs include everything you cannot survive without: food, rent, mortgage, utilities, transportation, cell phone service, insurance, credit card, loan payments. Wants, those are the things you can live without spending on, like going out to eat, shopping, and entertainment. When you're looking to reduce spending, the expenses in your wants should be the first to go. Then you'll create budget categories and assign a spending limit to each. Some of your expenses, like rent and car payments, will be fixed. Others, like food and utilities, may change month to month. Once you've broken your budget down into categories, it'll start to look something. Monthly income, let's say $1,600, rent $600, utilities $100, food $250, cell $50, car payment $300, savings $300, give or take. After this, you'll have to decide how to track your budget. Old school pen and paper works fine, but there are a number of great free apps available to learn from. And we're going to have a story on that one probably next week. Now that we've got the first 2 steps covered, we can dive into the savings. How to save money on groceries. Many of us acknowledge that eating out is a convenient luxury, yet still fall into the expensive habit of ordering food regularly. If you tend to eat out a few times a week, your takeaway orders could be making a significant dent in your income. There's no faster way to reduce expenses than cooking meals in your own kitchen. So up next, we're going to share a few tips that'll help you stretch the grocery budget. Make a list and stick to it. Start clipping. Let's see. Buy generic is the next one. How to save money while shopping for necessities? Buy used. Facebook Marketplace, let it go. Offer up. Use cash instead of your credit card is another big one. Instead, institute a 24-hour waiting period before making a major purchase. Ways to save money on bills? Downgrade your cable plan or nix it completely. A lot of people are streaming. If you prefer cable but want some ideas on how to lower your bill, downgrade to a cheaper plan. Review your internet and smartphone plans. Do this once a year no matter what. Use your utilities conservatively. Don't have the air conditioner running all day and all night. Consolidate credit card debt with a personal loan if you can do that, if you qualify. Just a few of the ideas in the Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? As always, I ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
About a minute, my boss just pushed me over the limit. I'd like to call him something